Hello? Okay.
Alrighty, I think we're good now. We're good. Are we in? He sound Rick. He sounds so handsome. It's because he's only listening. He's not. But he is handsome too, okay?
The voice of radio, people
But
say.
I've got what is it? You got a face for radio?
Voice for radio.
I'm for it. As long as it's bringing in money, whatever.
I wish it's not.
But yeah, but you do very much have like a very conversational voice. It's really cool. Lima Charlie, yeah, cool. We got it. We got it. But yeah, hi DJ, hi Sins, hi Rick. How are you, gentlemen? Okay, we've got some people showing up saying hi. But again, okay, let me start over again because I didn't realize that it wasn't going on. So I am here with Joseph Morning. He is a paranormal enthusiast and also does paranormal investigations. And today, the reason we're starting our interview earlier is because he's been invited to a paranormal investigation for later tonight, which is exciting.
Yes, it is.
So, okay, and then go ahead and let us know where you're going again since now they can hear you.
I believe it's Lionel, Indiana. It's Spirit Monroe. It's a church.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a small town. So the unique thing about this church was back in the day was like on Sundays it was a Christian church. On Mondays it would be a church for pagans. Next day it would be a church for like devil worship or atheists. So on, so on. So every day a week something new was going on at that church.
That's so
Completely
crazy.
different. Yeah.
That's so
To just
crazy.
agree with that, I would love to have been in the room for the agreement of that. So
Right?
like
Like,
yeah.
we're going to use this space for all of us. Like,
Yeah.
who would have. I mean, obviously, I mean, if you're more spiritually, no, open minded about spirituality, then you understand that there's no reason for people not to get along. But it is pretty interesting. That's like a
Yeah.
huge jump. I can understand Christian to pagan, like some kind of a, but to Satanists or Luciferian, that's where it's like, because even a lot of pagans don't claim that either. Does that make sense? Like
Right.
even
Right.
they will like be like, oh no, we had nothing to do with Satan. Like that's someone
Right.
else, and they're very like strict about saying like we're not Satanists, we're just
Right.
pagan, like we're something else. Like yeah, so
Right.
yeah, and so it's very interesting
For
when you
sure. I
hear
never
that.
heard of this place till about 2 months ago. So
That's crazy. And how did you get access?
so the three girls I'm going with, they went on a paranormal trip last year and then they decided they wanted to go on another paranormal trip. Well,
Mm,
they were trying to find information and I go to several places a year, paranormal places, do research, just show up, getting the vibe of different places. And that one called me and they're like, "Hey, do you know anything about this place?" I was like, "No." And so I Googled it and it's only like 45 minutes from my house. And I was like, "How do I not know about this place?"
wow. So
So,
how old is this place? Do you know?
um, oh,
Did you just
I'm going to
honk?
say, yeah, that was my horn. I apologize. I'm in the
It's okay.
car.
I was like, what was that? I thought somebody was honking at you, like, why are you doing this driving, bro? No, it's okay. It's okay.
But no, I'm not 100% sure how old the place is. That's horrible to not know, but I don't. So
Oh, interesting. Okay. I mean,
yeah,
I feel like I need to look it up now. Okay, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit because like
that's fine.
I'm really excited about what you're gonna do tonight. So hopefully we'll get what's it called? Like
Update.
an update on everything, like after the fact. So that'd
Yeah.
be cool. But as of right now, first, how long have you been doing investigations? Is one question.
So I've been doing my first paranormal investigation was at a resident's house. That was probably back in 2011, and then my next one was probably about 3 years ago, and then after that, I just kept constantly going. So
Like after the last week, okay. And
yeah.
then the other question I had is um obviously something draws you to the paranormal. You don't just say I'm going to go on a paranormal investigation if you're not already interested in paranormal activity.
Right.
What activity did you deal with that made you stay interested?
So it's a weird story, but I grew up in a Christian home, Baptist, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
and one day as a teenager, started dating, of course, and we were at her house getting ready to go to a dance, and she was Wiccan and completely different,
Right.
religions,
Mm-hmm.
but she has a star with the lights on top of her ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And that day she's like, "Oh, I see something in the kitchen." I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't see anything in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
But she went in there to go check it out, and when she left, I saw legitly this spirit um come in the room, go completely through me, and like, football check where like your
Oh yeah.
football checking, and made that sound as it went through me.
Oh whoa.
And then the lights came down and slammed up against the wall. I could see it through my peripheral vision, but I didn't like give it knowledge. And then she came in the room and she goes, Is everything okay? I go, No, not quite. And I pointed, and as soon as she looked, it dropped. Like I never looked over.
Oh
Like I could
wow.
see it. So then that was the opening. I'm like, things aren't just black and white for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I started like looking up Indiana history, and then I would start working with people, and they would bring up like, "Hey, I live in a haunted house." I was like, "No, you don't," kind of things. And then they would take me to their house, and like doors would open and close with
That's true.
with me being, yeah. And so it kept piquing my interest. Now it's a thing where I'm looking for answers,
Right.
like
So now
what?
you're a truth seeker is the best way
Yeah,
to adapt that. And that's something
yeah,
that I definitely identify as like again, we kind of like okay, so pre start of the interview, we kind of both mentioned that we both were raised in Christian households. So
right.
you're well aware that I've already said I'm Christian. I've already let you know that too, but I'm very much sorry. I'm lighting Palo Santo. It's usually what I do when I'm having a conversation about the paranormal, trying to keep everything clean. You're a truther as well. Sounds good, Rick. Reminds me of like X Files. Yeah, but I've told what I was telling Joseph just a little earlier is that I was kind of uh, I was kind of checked. I was kind of I brought into some kind of conviction earlier the last few days when I started doing some of my own research and like having my own like prayers around what it is that I'm interested in. Things were being brought to my attention by my sister and my mom, and they're very much Christian, and it made me like kind of think like um, it doesn't make sense for me to not be what I am or what I feel I'm led to. Um, and it be wrong if I don't feel like if that makes sense. It was kind of like hard to explain. So I wound up doing a lot more research. Me and I call it Chad, but like Chat GPT, we became really good friends, and and I like really like plug in questions and answers, and I like fact check everything too. I like actually go back into the scripture that's being provided and things like that to see if that's exactly what it is and things like that. So I'm not being like led down another rabbit hole, if that makes sense. And so that's when I've been learning that even though for a long time I was calling myself a Christian, which I can't really call myself that. And we had that conversation, right? But
Yeah,
in that, like, I'm well aware that being Christian doesn't mean that you're oblivious to spirituality, because that's obviously like who I am as a person, makes it very clear that that's like, that's not the case. It's definitely not the case. And I've learned that I can either call myself like a Christian mystic or a seer or truth seeker or things like that. Like, because that's really what drives me. What drives me isn't my intention of finding out about past spirits, or if there's spirits in a space. It's not with the intention of trying to control the spirits or trying to get answers that I should only be seeking from Yahweh. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not what I'm seeking. I'm not seeking those kind of answers. I'm seeking truth with
Right.
Yahuwah's permission, and that's where like things, I think a lot of people get thrown off. So I was really happy that I was able to kind of get a lot of that clarity, like in my own research, and then like clarifying things along with ChatGPT. Because yes, guys, use your tools for a reason. These AI tools have access to everything in the world. They have access to all kind of mysteries that have been written down, the Book of Enoch, the book, like everything, anything and everything. And if you have questions that you don't have complete access to yourself, you might as well take advantage of it. Like, just take advantage of what you know. So far, I am glad to say that everything that I've done has been aligned with my faith. I have very much been praying before every investigation myself. I do not put faith in the objects that I hold, like amulets or stones themselves. I put faith in the creator, not the amulet. It's a representation of what I'm asking for. So, I just think that it's cool to be able to say that to somebody who's a fellow, raised Christian. So, and
Right.
like you said, like I'm like in this in between right now because of this. So, like maybe it's just a good time for me to start talking to you today, because obviously we're in a similar situation, right?
We are. Yes.
Mhm. So, um how were your parents like growing up? I'm very curious because I feel like when your parents raise you to like be afraid of everything, I think it makes it
Right.
worse.
So I can remember the day that I told them that I was in what that situation I just told you about.
Mhm.
They didn't say a word to me. They're just like, "Oh, okay. Like you're telling a crazy story over here."
Mhm.
To this day, like when I tell them I'm going to a paranormal investigation or stuff like that, it's the same situation. Like they don't understand at all. Like, why are you doing this? All you're doing is causing trouble. You're looking for something that you don't need to be looking for, stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, I've had a lot. I get that a lot. My mom and my sister have an assumption that mm, because of my interests that I'm automatically like into the occult, and I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, like
Like my dad thinks the devil.
yeah, yeah, it's always the devil, or like it's automatically necromancy, like that's their thought process, and I'm like, actually, no. Discerning of spirits and testing the spirits is something that we're called to do as Christians. Just an
Because I'll
FYI.
give you an example. Last week, I was at a another paranormal investigation in Poseyville, Indiana, at a library. I went with the New Harmony paranormal group, and I gotta do something I've never done before. What it is you take headphones and you plug them into a ghost box,
Mhm.
and the headphones, you don't hear nothing but what's in the ghost box itself. So then they would ask me questions,
Mhm.
the people that were there in the room with me, and I would answer, which I've
Right.
saw on TV, but I've never done
So
it
you never done?
personally.
Is it the Estes method where you blindfolded too?
You were supposed to be. I just kept my eyes closed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um,
Because I have done the Estes method. I did it once, and I do remember it being really interesting. It's very different when you're watching it, when you're watching people do it,
yeah,
and then when you're doing it yourself, and you feel like you almost feel like there's something like you can hear everything, so you're trying to piece together what's going on, but you have no clue what's going on. So it's really
right.
cool when somebody else says, "Oh, this is what you were answering."
And then 2 minutes went by and they tapped me on the shoulder. I took the headphones off, and I was like, how was that? Because I couldn't hear them. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually answering any questions, like you said. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, you're very good at this. And I was like, oh, good. And so then I went to my parents, told them what happened, and they didn't say a word. But later on, I had a conversation with my mom about my dad, and he's like, I just don't understand why he would do something like that. Like,
Mm-hmm. So,
so it's
and I
very
think a
discouraging.
lot of it, unfortunately, sorry, my allergies have been acting up, so I keep rubbing my nose. I'm not a junkie, or you guys. I'm just itchy. Okay, I slapped Daddy. So I've been um I've learned to just not be able to just say anything to my. I would be able to have. I would have been able to share this with my dad easy,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't. But I'm not able to share this with my mom or my sister because they cannot figure it out. My sister has learned this is a part of what I do, and that is what it is. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So she's like, I'm not interested in it. I stay away from that. They keep making it very clear that Halloween's coming up. They know I celebrate, and they're like, it's the pagan, and like, and that, it's not even the fact that it's pagan. It's Satan's birthday. Like, it's one of those kind of stupid things. Like, it's you know what I mean? And I'm like, no, it's not really built around that. Like, and people don't understand that either. So it's really sad because it's like I can't educate somebody who doesn't want to be educated. Like, you know what I
right,
mean? So I've just kind of left it like they'll make all these conversations around certain things here and there, and I'll just kind of be quiet about it because why? What's the reason of me talking to them about something that they really don't want to learn? They really don't want to
right. It's kind of
really take
sad in
in.
one way that you can't tell people that have loved you all your life a personal thing. Like, it's really sad, but at the same time, like, there's no point because they're not going to get it.
Well, I've also never really had like me and my sister. I've started getting close again recently, but we've never really been that close.
Yeah,
And then my mom and I have a very weird relationship. We're just gonna put it that way. My sister too. We'll just put it like me and my sister never felt
yeah,
like we were raised by a mom. We felt like we were raised by a roommate. Like, make sense?
got it. Yeah,
So yeah. So we don't really have that mother daughter bond. We try to bond, but we don't really have mother daughter kind of thing. That's the reason why we
I
said
got it.
like when it came to our dad, that was a completely different story. We were able to share anything and everything with him.
Right.
Um, but yeah, but like to that, um, I think when you go into certain things, like I said, like I mean, you obviously can tell them like I've tried this, I've tried that, and it's honestly like I would be grateful for that because I would want somebody on my spirit team to be in prayer for me when I am out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
want somebody who understands what I do and why I do it to be on my team. So obviously, like even if they don't understand, at least you know that you're in the prayer. That you know what I mean. At least you know that they're
right,
asking for your protection while you go try these things. Like I'm sure you said you're gonna go on an investigation tonight. If they know about it, they
right,
know to keep you in their prayers, which I
right,
think is helpful, right? It's helpful in keeping you grounded and surrounded in protection while you're in a space that is new.
right.
Um, So speaking on that though, because obviously you were raised a certain way. Yeah, I know you said recently you've kind of been learning other things too. What
Right.
is it that you will do to keep yourself safe when you go on these investigations?
So I have a couple friends that are gifted. I will let them know in advance, like, hey, I might need some help,
Right,
even
right.
though you're not going to be there, and protection. Basically, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, I might need some protection. I'm going here. Um, just to let you know. And usually they're pretty, nice about it. They're like, yeah, yeah, no problems. So,
Well, that's
and then,
good.
uh, and then I have a pastor friend. It doesn't matter what I ask for prayer; he'll just pray for me. So, like later on, I'll text him like, "Hey, I'm going to do this. Please pray." So
Mm-hmm. I've been I think like I was kind of bringing it up earlier, but I feel like what a lot of people who are raised like us. unfortunately are led to believe is that any kind of communication with um, anything beyond the veil is against what God wants for us, and that's not the
Right.
case. Um, if you're not, say like, yeah, if you're not using a Ouija board with intention of like trying to create connection or like an invocation of sorts, then it's not the same thing. If that makes sense, like if because like for
Right.
me, like obviously if you're gonna use a spirit box and you're gonna use certain tools, like it is to clarify if there's something around. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then for me myself, I have my own actual gift where I actually am very much in what you would consider a medium. You know, I can
Right.
a claircognizance. I have claircognizance and clairvoyance. In a sense, I can and clairaudience. I get a lot of that. A few
Have,
other things here and there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have gifts also. I just don't know what they're called. Like the easiest way to say what they are is like I know when spirits are around. Like
It's a
I just know.
claircognizance. Yeah, you have like a sense or claircognizance and clairsentience. I think where
And
you
then
kind of know. It's kind of like an empathy. Like you can sense them near you.
yeah. And
Um,
then I have the gifts of like knowing stuff that I shouldn't know.
cognizance.
So, but yeah, like
Do you ever
yeah.
have prophetic dreams?
What's that?
Do you ever have prophetic dreams?
Um, every once in a while. My grandma had that gift. My grandma was
Okay.
very gifted that way. So
I'm just very curious because I feel like um, it's really cool once you know you have something because I feel like the rest of it can kind of be like exercised. You know what I mean? So you wind
yeah.
up actually being able to be broader just in general, like as you turn it on, so to speak. Um, I know, like with those gifts, that's one of the reasons why, like, yeah, you would be good at an Estes method because you naturally already have an easier connection. So it's easier for
Right.
you to like just pull it out, like pull it in because you can hear it even before you hear it, if that makes sense. So,
Right.
and that makes it kind of easier for you to have these conversations. And secondly, obviously, when you're not when you're going out there not summoning but go or like holding a seance, so to speak, when you're going out
Right.
there because something's already there, you are quite literally testing the spirits. You are trying to figure
Right.
out what is there, what is its purpose for being there, and does it belong there? Like, why are you know what I mean? Like, so,
Right.
and that's really what you're doing. And I know a lot of, and just in case you get to this conversation with your parents again, because this is stuff I've been learning because of what I deal with, and I think if you're able to give them straight answers on like how it's scripturally sound, like it'll make them more open to what it is that you do because like if you tell them like I'm not going to go play with Casper and call Casper to come and hang out with me. That's not I'm not
Right.
you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
going to see why if Casper's actually there and why.
Right.
And then that's when it makes like that's when it's true to scripture. Does that make
Right.
sense? And
Yeah.
and I've had to tell people before like that's exactly what Christ did. Like people don't understand that. He was always on foot and he was always going about and being welcomed into homes for him to test the spirits and test what was going out there, and that's why he would do a lot of exorcisms because there were
Right.
things that didn't belong there. So he'd call them out.
Right.
But I mean it's just been that. So I feel like I am doing my job in this, Not everybody will. Not everybody is called to do it. That's the best way I see it. But I felt like if I was naturally attracted to this kind of work, then it must be for a reason.
Right.
And sure
That's how
enough,
I feel.
like it starts to make more sense. Like the more I dive into it and dive into scripture and like really like get deep into my prayer and really like try to understand like God. I'm not trying to understand anybody else. I'm trying to understand God and his why he formed me how I am. Like it's
Right.
nobody else's responsibility to tell me who to be.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I
And
mean?
not everything's black and white.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. We're not meant to be the same person. We're not meant to worship God the same way. Like, I know people
and
don't want to hear
and the
that, but
other
it's true.
thing is, sorry,
Oh, you're
the
good.
other thing is like not everybody, not everybody can get their answers just because like Aunt Sulu told you that's how it is. You know, like
Right,
some people have to go seeking for these answers
right,
themselves.
right. And especially because um I think what unfortunately a lot of Christians choose to blindly follow a lot
Yeah.
of doctrine that has been made normal through the church that they've been in. Like, we all agree that this is bad and that's it. And it's
Right.
like, but why? And then the moment you start being the why person, you're the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Exactly.
if you can't answer the why, then you're not in the right either. You have to be able to have facts. Bring in the facts. Bring in the
Right.
reasoning. Bring in the scripture. Tell me the why, and then I'll tell you. You know, then okay, I understand why it's wrong. Okay, I'll step back. Like, if I had been told why it was bad to share my body before marriage, if I had actually been told a bigger why, that it's not just physical, there's a spiritual connection, there's that, then I would have been smarter when I was younger. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I started getting older and it started to click. Like, oh, there is a such thing as soul ties. There is a such thing as shared energy. You mess yourself
Yeah.
up if you're sharing energy with the wrong person. Like, all of
Yeah.
that is very true. It's all very real. And if I had known that part of it, then I would have been more hesitant.
Exactly.
You know. So the point being is, so many churches are so used to just this is right, this is wrong, and that there's
Right.
no okay, but now you're not answering any questions anymore. Now you're not leading. Now you're leading through fear and not through fact or through faith, and then that's the problem.
Right. That's exactly how a lot of churches do too.
Yeah,
So not the
which is
bad
unfortunate.
churches get. Yeah.
Except for the church that you go to, that you're going to tonight. Just kidding. I don't know what's going on there, but it is pretty funny. Sorry, my headband keeps
Yeah.
falling off and this is bothering me at this point. Um, yeah, no, I think that's interesting. I'm gonna do a quick search on it because you said the Spirit of Monroe, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick search on it because I feel um, like maybe we can get a little. Uh, and where
Or
did you say it was?
Marco. 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 Sorry. Spirit of Marco.
And where did you say it was?
Like Lionel. Lyons, Indiana.
Spirits of Marco.
Yeah, Marco.
Okay. Spirits of Marco. Exploring the haunted spirits of Marco Church in Indiana. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, okay. Okay. We're getting somewhere here. Oh wow. I'm gonna I'm gonna see if I can find a photo of this church and share it here. Why you do that though? I can't stand that when you try to like click on something and it's Facebook and it's like you gotta sign in. I'm like, shut up. No, I don't. Okay, hold on. Um, I'm gonna share it here. Alrighty. Um, so this is what we're looking at. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that.
That's a
That's
house.
fine.
Huh.
Is this the house?
That's a house. Here it is.
See, because
One
this
to
is
the
what I'm
left.
getting.
Yeah,
This is what I'm getting. So I don't know if maybe this is another entrance to it. There's two
maybe.
different things coming out of here. This is this it? This is very
Yeah.
different to me.
Yeah, the white ones. That one right there. I know that's that just like an artsy picture of it, but yeah, that's what it is.
That's it. Yeah. Is this
And
it?
then like travels with Zach just was there. He's a YouTuber.
Travels with Zach.
Yeah, like haunted travels or something. Travels. He was just there
Spiritual
like
Marco
last week.
Church.
There's that Zach. He's the guy with the
This is
hoodie,
the
I
guy that
believe.
went.
Yeah, I believe that's Zach. So
We can check that out.
Ever been to? Yes. That's right. Tonight we are back at the Spirits of Marco Church in
I
Indiana.
believe that's
And this
Zach.
place is absolutely insane. Last time we were here, we had tons and tons of activity. And tonight we are here alone,
The
locked
other
in.
thing
So
is
I
there's
don't
a
know how this is going
coffin
to go, but
inside
we're going
this
to find out who
church
we can
too.
talk to here.
There's a coffin inside this shit right here, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
This place was built in the 1800s, so there's tons and tons of different spirits here.
And it's one of those like coffins where like people would use it for, like, to display the body, huh? Before
Right.
like actually burying them into something else.
Yeah. That's
And literally just a second ago before I started this video, I heard somebody talk in that back corner. I'm a little scared. But tonight we're going to be live showing you guys everything we can find, so tune into live and see what we can catch.
Oh wow, that looks cool. That looks terrifying. You have fun with that, bro.
yeah,
You,
I know.
you do you there. You do you.
Yeah.
No. Thank you. Just kidding. I mean, I would usually be like, yes, all for it, but like sometimes, some places are like, wow. Hi, Asno.
Yeah, that's the one thing with
Lost
me.
this all. We're not looking up anything. Thank you. Sorry.
There hasn't been there's been one place that everybody in my group of friends told me I couldn't go, and that was Bobby Mackey's.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and they just tore that down. They just finished the teardown of that one.
yeah, like I got invited there, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go Bobby Mackey's, and then people that didn't even know I wasn't that didn't know I was going started calling me up, and they're like, I don't know what you're about ready to plan, but don't do it. And these were people that like weren't believers of paranormal stuff, didn't know what I was doing at all. They would just call me up. They're like, and
whatever
wasn't
you're
just one
doing,
call.
go.
It was like 7 people, and then it became like all my friends. They're like, you can't go there. So
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever had like that many people that are able to tell me like no don't, no don't.
right,
Like that's a pretty cool like connection that they all have that I guess they don't realize they have too, cuz
right.
that's pretty interesting. Are you what area do you live in? Like in
I'm on the southern part of Indiana.
I'm just curious cuz are you like in that 37th parallel area? Have you heard of
I'm
that?
next to the Ohio River, which I have a theory about, because a lot of things are haunted around the Ohio River, and it's all
I think
connected.
water in general is haunted. I feel like it's just everywhere.
So,
Mm. But yeah, I'm next to the Rio Grande, so yeah.
okay.
Come on, so yeah. But what has happened in like your area that's made you be like, oh yeah, no, definitely Ohio River carrying something.
So, like I said, the last like 3 to 5 years, I've been traveling everywhere within a 3-mile radius,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm smack dab right next to Ohio River. So Louisville is like on the other side of the river for us, and so is Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on a family vacation in Ohio, and they have a castle out there, and it was haunted.
Right.
And then the Golden Lamb Hotel isn't too far from the Ohio River, and it's haunted. And then New Albany and Louisville share a bridge. So if you're on this side of where New Albany is, there's like 5 or 6 places within probably a 10-mile block. They're all haunted. A candy store, houses, businesses, and you can see the Ohio River every single bit. Then you cross over to the Louisville, and then they got like a toothpaste factory, which is smack dab right next to the river. It's haunted. And then there's like 10 or 15 other places you can still see the Ohio River. And then
Oh wow.
supposedly, if you go up to West Virginia, going up that coast, Mothman and all kinds of stuff is next to that Ohio River.
Right. Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
and then Tell City, Indiana has a few places because that Ohio River runs right through the town itself, and 2 or 3 towns, small towns connected to Tell City, all right next to the river, all haunted. So
So there's definitely energy that follows along the banks of Ohio. That's
yeah,
crazy. So remind me
which
not to
Bobby
go. Just
Mackey's.
kidding. No.
So
Oh, I would go. I would go with a group. I would go. But yeah. um. Okay, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit back to after that story with that girlfriend that was interesting. Obviously, that didn't last because she's not around anymore. But
right,
and I don't blame you if I had something attack me at her house. I wouldn't be around
right.
much longer after that either. Um, but like, what started making you, um, I guess, not exactly step out of your faith. Well, I guess in some way it is kind of stepping out of your faith for answers. But like, yeah, what is it that you started to look into that made you realize you needed to find other sources to help you when it came to an understanding of all of this? And like, what did you
Um,
find? You know?
I more enjoyed learning about this stuff than I did because I spent like 20 years learning about Christianity, like
Mm-hmm.
pure out just learning Christianity. And then like I started learning about haunted locations, paranormal places, wise tales in the town, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, there has to be more than just this is the way. And
Right.
so I'm trying to figure out why. Like why are the spirits here, or if they're not our dead loved ones, then what are they?
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of theories out there, but I haven't came up with a conclusion what it could be. I know the church answer is, oh, it's demons, but
Right. A
like
lot of people
it's
think.
not, in my opinion. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had that conversation with my brother last week. He was quoting scripture, trying to quote scripture at me. I had to fix it for him. I was like, yeah, I know that one scripture says the dead don't know anything. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not.
There's also
And then he's like,
scripture that says that no one's dead to God.
and then I was like, he's like, then it has to be demons. I was like, well, then explain this to me. I was like, I get your theory when it comes to like maybe talking to grandma, but I don't know anybody that's in these churches or the libraries.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they try to fool me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Like
what is it there? And even
what?
then, like you're not asking them for answers to guide your life.
Right,
You're not asking them to tell you the future or you're
right,
you know
right,
what I mean? Like it's not it's like what that is referencing is like to not consult the dead about your past because they won't know anything, which is
right,
actually true. They don't know God's plan for you. You know what I mean? Like it just
right.
is the reality. Now, and if you ever get a reading, and I've told people you have to be really careful with, what kind of readings you accept from people. If you're trying to get a psychic reading to tell you what's ahead of your future, or ahead of you in your future, you're not going to get a clear answer. You're never
Right.
going to get an actual answer.
It can actually change
Because
what
it can,
could happen.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's where deception can come from. They can be speaking to somebody who is deceiving them into telling you that this and this and this is going to happen, so then it makes you be discouraged about what it is, or be encouraged to do something you shouldn't do.
Right.
And then that takes you off of the path that's going to be your best path for you,
Right.
um and like that's a whole other like long ass conversation. But the reality
Right.
is, like, I've been very um like, because I'll do readings for people. I'll tell them, like, if they think that there's something going on around them, or why are they feeling this way? Is there a presence that's near them? Like, or one of my community members let me know that, this is over about just over a year ago. He was letting me know how, like, one of his, like, glass, like, sliding doors was completely shattered out of nowhere. Like, something
Oh
just
wow.
completely, like, busted it all. And it was like that, what's it called? Tempered glass or something like that? Like the kind that's, like, harder to break. And it just,
Yeah.
like, shattered in, like thousands of tiny little pieces. And,
Wow.
like, for that, I'm like, well, yeah, that's obviously something else. That's something going on. And, sure enough, we figure out that, like, the lady that had lived in that house before was very strange, very much a hermit. And she was very protective of her own little space. Like, that was her house.
Right.
So it made sense that he was always being disturbed because she didn't want him there. But then we find out later in conversation, and with me, like, tuning in and, like, using the tools that I have to tune in to see what's going on around him, that it's not just that there's actually an oppressive spirit that's around him that was generationally handed down, and that this spirit has is always bothering him. And mind you, this guy has escaped death multiple times, so it
Oh
makes
wow.
sense that
Yeah.
he's just like, I don't know how I'm dealing with this, da 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 da. Like, we've had these conversations left and right. And when I told him, he was just all like that. Like, as I told him, his nose started bleeding.
Oh
So that's how he
wow.
was just like, clearly that you're touching on something that's real, because something's trying to, like, make
Yeah.
me, like, like straighten me back out from understanding what's around. Because
I give
now
people
once you can
readings.
recognize what it is, now you can recognize what you're fighting. And that's what our jobs are. Does that make
Right.
sense? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, um yeah, with that, like, obviously I'm not seeking their any kind of truth about them, other than, um I'm shown, and I've always and I will pray to be shown what I'm meant to need, what I'm meant to know. Like, what is it that I'm meant to know so that I can help these people? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not for and I'll tell them strictly, I will never read for your future. I will not read that.
Right.
I was just all like, I might be able to be given a glimpse of what, like, a possibility, but I really don't care to tell you that unless it's something that I need to tell you, like, that I feel like I'm being led to tell you, but I will not,
Right.
because I won't. I have to sit on it and pray on it if I'm meant to tell you that this is a possibility, you
Right.
know. Um, but yeah, I feel like, um I think, like, that's where a lot of things get misconstrued when it comes to people who are paranormal investigators, or even like us who are gifted, who are Christian. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're
Right.
gifted, so but you've been taught your whole life that these gifts are of the devil. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
foosball is the devil. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you keep thinking of, things like that, and that's not the reality.
Right.
Like, it's very clear biblically that there is more, There's more to this, that everybody's given specific gifts for a reason. That those of us that are given the gifts of discernment, spiritual discernment, we're meant to use them. We're meant to use these gifts, and we're meant to use them to help others. But we need to also recognize why the gift has been given to us, and how we're supposed to be using the gift, right?
Right.
Um, and in that, like, not taking advantage of the gift, right? So, like, some people
Yeah.
would think that, oh, well, because I have this gift, I'm supposed to be able to call on Aunt Sally whenever I feel like it. No, that's not how that goes. Like,
Or they charge money for it.
or yeah, and like, and mind you, don't get me wrong, like, you shouldn't also be taken advantage of. Like, you should also be able to be compensated if you're putting yourself on the line for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
But but there's also the thought of, like, um if you're gonna be reading somebody, like, say, like I have, it's not um it's not necromancy if you're not trying to summon and or invoke somebody. Like,
Right.
you're literally testing what's out there, and that's, again, that is biblical. To test the spirits is biblical. You're meant to do that. If you feel like something is near you and you're discerning it, you're meant to say, what are you? Are you of God? Or were you sent by God? Or are you an oppressive spirit trying to hurt other people who come into the space?
There
What is
was
your
a
intention here?
there was a story in the Bible which, like, it was reversed, but it always made me laugh. There was this holy guy trying to get this demon out of this person, right?
Right.
And he came to him and he's like, get out of this person's body. And the demon himself was like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like whoever you say you are, you're being completely false. Which, if that ever happened in front of me, I probably would have lost it. Like, what?
Right. And I think it even comes down to it, because I think even the guy, like, they called on Christ to come and, like, deal with the situation, because obviously this guy was trying to get it done, and he wasn't, and, like, Christ looks at him and he goes, I don't know you either. Like, he's very much like, you're
Right.
asking for my help. You're asking for the help of me and my Father, and
Right.
you don't even have a relationship with us. Who are you?
Right.
Who are you? What made you think you had authority if you don't even have me in your life? Like, that's not gonna
Right.
work. That's not, that's not gonna work. Like, don't use me. And that's when it's like, you're using me in vain. That's when that, like, comes out, right? Like, you're
Right.
you're putting on the show. It's a great facade. It's a great facade, but, like, clearly you yourself aren't connected. So why do you think you have the authority? And that's why the
Right.
Shmiman will be like, I don't say the D word. I say Shmiman.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll be like, well, what's going on there? Like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. Who are you? Like, all right, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't getting too far. But I mean, I've come across different entities and spirits that have been very clear that they are, lost or wandering, or
Yeah.
some of them have been literally stuck in a space because of trauma that they've been through, so they're just literally just there.
Right.
And um and I've also had a lot of different ones that have come through that, basically they've come around me because they recognize that I can sense them, that I
Yeah.
can that I can have the communication with them. So they'll be like, hey, can you listen to this? I'm concerned about this and this, or, like, you know what I mean? And they're trying to say something, and I can't reach out to people that they're talking about, but it's like I can hear them. It's almost like a
Right.
spiritual therapy session, that I kind of have let them kind of express what they've needed to get out.
Do you ever have a spirit that randomly shows up and you can smell them, like a
Yeah.
certain scent? So I worked at a retail place, and I was closing one night, and they just came for a visit. But the problem is the smell they smelled was like marijuana.
Oh,
So
they
if
all.
anybody, so if they walked in the room, they'd be like, "What are you doing?" Like it was that bad, and
Oh
like
wow.
4 or 5 times this has happened. Like I was giving a friend a ride, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you smoke pot." And I'm like, "I don't." They're like, "Your car smells like it." I was like,
Yeah.
"I know."
You're
So,
like, yeah, that's the buddy of
uh,
mine that likes to come about, and that's probably how he passed away. Did that? You know what I mean? Like, probably did something
yeah,
stupid high. So he just
well,
always
yeah,
smells high. That's pretty funny.
yeah. So I know when this one spirit's always around, and like it's funny, but at the same time, it's like you could wait till I got off work to like
So
make your
people don't
presence
think that
clear.
something's, yeah, that I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing at work. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. No, I've smelled, and it's funny because I didn't know it until after the stories were confirmed to me after the fact. But there's an old theater out here. It's over 100 years old. It's called the Plaza Theater, and it's gorgeous. But they just recently had renovated it and reopened it in 2006. But like for like 30, 40 years, it was like dormant. And then like they renovated it. Somebody finally like decided to reinvest in it. And sure enough, it's like it's now it's booming. Now it's always busy. But there's one uh there's one ghost that is known for being on the mezzanine level, and he's always smoking, right? Like a
Oh,
cigar or cigarette, and then
yeah.
he'll jump. And it's
Oh,
really trippy because it's like, what? Like, right? So other people have seen the full jump,
oh
right?
wow. Yeah.
But for me, I didn't know. And as I was walking down that way off of like the mezzanine, and I was walking out that way to get to the exit on that side of the the balcony, the mezzanine, I could smell a cigar like very strongly, and I was like, it was just me and like two other people near me, like
Yeah.
leaving, and I was just like, "Did you smell that?" And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "It smells like cigar." And they're like, "No." And I was like, "No, it smells like cigar. It smells like someone smoking a fucking cigar." And the thing is, like, we are a city that is like no smoking indoors at all, and we've been that
Oh
way
wow.
since the late 90s, like no indoor smoking. So clearly this whole area that's been renovated would not have a lingering smoke smell. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just wouldn't.
I had that exact same thing happen to me at a place where Al Capone used to have poker games
Oh,
in
that's
Louisville.
cool.
As soon as I walked in, there was cigar smoke everywhere. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you can smell it today." And like, as it was as soon as I walked in, because he was already in the room for like 5, 10 minutes. And as soon as I went through, he's like, "I can smell the cigar smoke." I was like,
Yeah, so
"I
maybe
can
it's because
too."
you have the gift for it, so then like it like turns on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was so trippy, cause it's done it a few times. I've been able to smell different things here and there. Um, I hate if I can smell rotten eggs or
Yeah.
sulfur. I absolutely hate it if I can smell it, because I know
That's usually something
something that we don't
like,
want around. Yeah.
yeah.
um, and I hate it when I can smell it, especially if I'm like out and about with my kids, and I'm like, what is that? And I
Yeah.
immediately be like, you gotta go. And I'll just kind of
Right.
say it out loud, like, you gotta go.
And that's the
You
best way
know,
to do it. Like, hey, you're not welcome
like,
here.
you're not welcome. Yeah, you gotta go.
Um, even when like say this while we're still on. If you guys do go to like a high location or a paranormal location, before you even get in your car, be like, "Hey, I need you to stay here. You're not welcome to go with me."
Right, right.
Doesn't always work, but at the same time, like, you gotta be very clear. Like, "Hey, you're not coming with me."
Yeah, I feel like one
So
thing that needs to be recognized is we are given the gift of life and presence in this realm. And
yeah,
in that, we are also given the authority of this realm. So
right,
anything that tries to manipulate us or attached to us or anything like that to use our energy to continue doing whatever the hell they want to do, they don't have authority. Period.
Right.
And it is very, and it's, um, we we need to recognize that, like, the more we fear something else, the easier it is for it to manipulate us and to stick to us, even if we try to be like strong and like try to get it out. No, because you've already accepted your spirit of fear. You've already accepted
Right.
that vibration, right? So once you recognize that it is something, then you need to like you said, like ground yourself. Make sure that you tell it straightforward, like, "Hey, you're not allowed to come with us today. Like, nope, you're not here. You're not gonna be with us today. You're not following me today. No, you cannot touch me today. No, you cannot bother me tonight. I don't care if you're part of the investigation. You need to leave this. You need to leave us alone. We're here to talk to the other spirits that have something to say, not you." Or like, and you
Right.
can be very, very precise to anything that again tries to manipulate you or deceive you, you know.
Right.
And you can tell. You usually can tell. I think, like, you've been on enough investigations that I'm sure you can tell when it's something trying to feed off the energy of the space, because it's like, oh, I found somewhere that people get scared. You know what I mean?
Right.
As opposed to it actually being um a lingering spirit from something that happened in the space, right?
Right.
And it's have you ever, okay, I'm curious, what has been one of your most intense experiences when investigating, and where was that?
It wasn't even an investigation, but it was very. I call it cool. I went. So what happened was Jack Osborne's Night of Terror happened, and I was watching him on the show because Jason Mewes was going to be on there. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, and James Kennedy, and they went to Ashmore State, and they're on the road, and I'm like, I know that road from somewhere. Well, it was Route 41.
Oh
uh,
boy.
which is by Vincent's where I live. So I was like, oh, that's not too far from me. It's about an hour drive. So it was a poor farm at one time, back in the day. So it's called Ashmore State. So the guy was on Facebook Live, and I was like, hey, could I come and just take pictures on the outside? Because I like doing that also, just showing
Mm-hmm.
up behind places, taking some pictures. And then
Seeing
if
what
I
can
get
show
good,
up, kind of thing.
yeah, and if I get good vibes, I'll ask if I can, like, rent the place or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove up there. I asked the owner if I could go up there and take pictures. He's like, you're going to be the only person here. No one's going to harass you. I was like, okay. So I get there. I text the guy. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm going to take a few pictures. He's like, the only thing I ask you, don't try to get in the building. I was like, no problem. So I take a few pictures. I go around the building, and I hear Joseph. And I'm like, okay. And I look up and I see, cameras. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's the owner. He's just trying to contact me.
Right.
So I call him. I was like, can I help you? And he's like, what? And I'm like, you said my name several times. And he's like, no, I didn't. And there's no one there. You're by yourself. So I was like, okay. I was like, that's weird. I heard my name. So then I went back to the front where my car is. I go on Facebook Live, and this building's like a 2 or 3 story building.
Uh-huh.
In the middle, there's a window where I'm doing my Facebook Live. There's a lady dressed in a old nurse's outfit, comes up to the window, looks at me, backs up, disappears completely. And I'm like, no way that just happened. And that was on the outside, me being on the outside.
And that, okay, so that was that was on your live, and did everybody else get to see that? Like, what was?
I don't know. No one's ever made a comment about it. Like,
Did you
I
get a
saw
chance
it.
to
I was
ever
like,
save that or no?
no, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you know very
But
clearly that there was something up there.
yeah, and like said, it was a lady in. She had headwear from a nurse's outfit,
Mhm.
old white outfit, the dress. You could see the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
She looked out the window, looked right at me, backed up 2 inches, still looking, disappeared.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So really cool in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and then also like, what in heaven? What?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've no, I don't think I've ever dealt with a full. I mean, I've seen stuff when I was a kid, but like caught a full apparition, no. But one of the last people I interviewed, we caught a shadow figure on one of his videos that he sent me, and he was just like, I didn't even see that. And I was just like, it's
Oh wow.
totally peeking out looking at you. And he was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
That's like I went to
But,
New Harmony. I took my kids to New Harmony. I take them maybe once a year. Just out and about. The whole town's haunted, by the way. And they got a candy store, ice cream shop, stuff like that. So
mhm.
I try to take my kids there. And we were in the candy shop slash toy store. And like, if you ever go a place and like a spider web hits you, you're like, oh, supposed to be a
Oh
spirit
yeah,
next to you.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I took a picture and someone goes, there's a spirit behind you in the picture. I was like, oh wow. I was like, all right. So
Like they just said that. Like they just
yeah, one of my friends said there's a spirit behind you in that picture. I was like, oh wow.
and
So
you felt like you and when you took that picture, you felt that. So that was kind of crazy.
yeah,
So okay, so I'm assuming that you have some friends that have gift themselves, like
yeah,
certain gifts themselves, and that's who you're talking about. Have they
yeah,
ever have they ever been like, aside from like that example, right, that you can see something behind you,
right,
um or they can like sense something behind you, right?
yeah.
um like have any of them gone on these investigations with you, and have you ever like mutually experienced or confirmed that something specific was there?
So it's going to sound completely crazy, but it's the honest truth. My friend was like, hey, used to camp by this railroad track all my life. Like from age 7 to like age 20, he would camp at this railroad track. And he's like, there's spirits on the track itself. And I was like,
That's interesting.
okay. I was like, that's weird. So like one day, me, him, and another buddy of ours at the time went, and for some reason, it hit me first, then it hit him, and then it hit the back of the person. And like when it hit me, I kind of ignored it, but when it hit them two,
Mm-hmm.
like they made a sound. I was like, what? And they're like, did you not feel the heat hit you? And I'm just like, yeah, I did, but I kind of just ignored it. And they're like, it was like a train heat just hit us. And
That's
I was like,
funny.
oh, wow. I was like, I didn't put two and two together because I was kind of ready to be done that night.
Oh
So I was
yeah.
just walking back to the car. And then they like made that comment. So it wasn't me making a comment. It was actually him
Them, but it
himself.
was
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I've never. I mean, I have had different experiences with different people. Over one of the investigations I had recently, and I keep not putting everything up. I really need to just put up every like snippet and like not care about editing, just like every like snippet of everything, right? Um and we were in one space where I'm getting like spirit box reading, and like this, it was like in the summer, and it was hot, like it was like 90 degrees in this one particular space because the air conditioner wasn't on anymore. And um yeah, we were finishing off a spirit box session, but like throughout it, like I felt cold, like right in front of me as I'm having like as I'm holding the box, and then um they're like, no, we don't feel it. I was just like, you don't feel it? It's cold. And I was like, it's cold here. It's cold. I was like, you don't feel that? Like, and they're like, no. And like, even like the temperature detector on Spirit Box, you know how like it has a detector? It like
Yeah.
started going off. And I was like, see, it's cold. It's cold here. And they were like, no, like, we don't feel it. But then, like, within like the next like 20, 30 minutes, everybody at some point was just like, "Oh, it's cold. Oh, why am I cold?" Like different moments, and I was just like, "That's so interesting." Because again, like spots, not like everywhere got cold.
Right.
The air conditioner isn't on.
Right.
It's a huge space. It's like a dinner theater. It's like a big space. It was like what are the chances that right near you is gonna be the cold spot? Like
Right.
So yeah, and that's when they were just kind of looking around like, yeah, okay. there's something.
Right.
There's something here at this point. But yeah, it's really cool when you can have enough people that can sense things like along with you, or like you feel like okay, it wasn't just me.
Right.
Um, I think the scarier part or the scarier one that I've ever experienced was again I can have like certain dreams of specific places,
Mhm.
and then I can have dreams of specific places, and then I'll talk to these people that like were in the dream, and then they'll tell me in confirmation of like, yeah, that's something that happened here, or that's what I deal with here, or blah blah blah, and it's very 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 strange. And I think that's when I first realized like my gift, as much as it was.
Right.
But with one of my cousins, I had a dream, and it was just before I wanted to have it. Just before I actually have her in an investigation, not an investigation, in an interview. It's an interview I still haven't put up, guys. I still have it ready, edited, like ready to go, and I still haven't put it up. And it's because of how like creepy it got. To the fact that this is my cousin, this is her childhood home. I've been there multiple times. I've sensed things multiple times. But what prompted me to call her was the dream. Okay, and in the dream, I kept seeing like this like ape like figure just literally hopping all around her house. Like inside her house, like coming out her window, climbing up on her roof, coming up all around it. Like just very weird, like this weird little ape like figure. And when I asked her about it, she was just like, "What?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And I was just like, "I know you told me." She was just like, just a few nights ago, I got 3 scratches, like claw, on her dresser, like her
Oh.
dresser drawers. And she was just all like, and I can't fix them. They're not like something you can rub out. It's like very clearly a
Right.
scratch. And she was just all like, and I've been dealing with something in this room for forever. They've that this has also mimicked different people in their family, like full on doppelganger mimic. It's just
Right.
like very like very like ugh, situation. But when I told her what I saw, she was just like, "That's how it presents itself to me. That's how it's come to me before."
Wow.
And she was just all like, "I've never told anybody that." Like, holy shit, and it
I
freaked
wonder
me
if it's
out.
Native American.
Okay, I love that you just touched on that. I love that you just touched on that because that's exactly what we think. That's
Oh,
exactly
okay.
what we
Wow, I
believe.
didn't know the story. So.
Exactly. That's why I think it's so cool. But you know what I mean? That's that cognizance. So we fully believe that it is something that is native. We believe that the land itself is uh, not exactly cursed, but not exactly blessed. We're just gonna put it that way. Um, this whole area and this part of town always feels weird. Everybody has experiences in this particular part of town. Everywhere, everybody that I've ever known who has lived in any of the houses in that part of town has had paranormal experiences. And including me when I used to live there, when I used to live like in a few blocks away from that area too, like in that specific space, right? Like
Right.
zip code or whatever. Um, sure enough, I would have experiences too. That's where I had all my first experiences as a kid. So I was just like, that is so trippy that I'm not like going crazy. There's something in this area, and
Right.
there's got to be something. And I started sensing that, like, yeah, I think that this is older than we think it is. That everything that we're dealing with is far older than we can understand, and it is in a I think it's I what is it called, an elemental, or where it's kind of like an earth spirit. That makes
Right.
sense. Like it's like energy that's accumulated over time in the earth. So it kind of, it's not tied to any kind of entity or deity or anything like that. So it doesn't really have direction, which makes it very much its own energy, right? So
Right.
I was telling her, I was just like, I think it's very much like that, which means that, like, yes, we can, as Christians, we can call in our own, like, we can call in Christ to come and, like, take care of this, but there's gonna be more to be, but we also need to know exactly what's around us, because it feels like there's something ancient in it, like, that
Yeah.
isn't exactly understood in this area too, and you can't, again, if you don't know what it is, you can't address it.
Right.
You can't address it. So that's exactly what we thought. We were literally having prayers. One of the guys that was with us started doing the St. Michael prayer, as I was doing, like, as I was just praying in Our Father, and we were both, like, we were all just praying in our home, and literally within, like it was a group of us, just all, like, in her home, all of us, different walks of Christianity, all having different types of prayers at the same time. And because I had taken my REM pod, and it, like, sure enough, started going crazy on top of the stairs, where everybody always senses something always hanging out, and
Right.
it was really crazy. And then we, like, so we all just started praying. We were like, you need to leave her alone. You need to get out of here, and then and um, like within about 30 minutes of us all praying, like, all of a sudden it seemed quiet. Like, all of a sudden, like, things got still in the home, and mind you, we're all just hanging out. We're like, it's a group of us,
Right.
and we're like, huh. And we even looked at each other. We're like, do you feel like more chill? And they're like, yeah. And then we all just kind of look at each other like, this is interesting. Okay. Did we just do something? And then she said that she was actually able to sleep better that night. Like, all this stuff, it was just very interesting. And I don't know how things have been since, but I do know that it was very strange, because it was, again, I knew something. I dreamt it. I called it out, and she was just all like, yeah, no, that's exactly. And mind you, when we were younger, we all would sense something was going on in her house. Always. And then even my aunt, when they had first moved in, had seen something at the top of the stairs. Um, like, something that she described similar to looking like, almost like a leprechaun. And I
Oh
thought it was
wow.
interesting, because in our area, like, our, like, region, we
Hmm.
have the duendes. Like, those are Mexican. We're, like, literally not too far from that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, that's creepy, because that's basically similar to, like, a leprechaun, you know? So it's like, oh, that's okay. It's all kind of coming around. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
That's interesting.
I feel like, I feel like that's also something to take into consideration whenever you go on investigations. Like, what kind of land am I on? You know,
Right.
what could have,
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
that?
That's like tonight with that investigation, we got serious that the client was there at one point too. So that's interesting too. So
You're in a parking lot, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay. So was there somebody walking by your car talking?
there was.
Okay. Because I was freaked out for a second. I was just like, why did I just hear a small kid talk on your end? Oh, that freaked me out. Okay. We're good now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a parking lot, guys.
Okay. Okay. I was like, like, that was a little girl's voice. Why?
Yeah, there was a woman that walked by.
Mm,
So
okay. That would have been a whole other part of this
actually, as soon as
conversation.
you said Spanish culture, she walked by and she was speaking Spanish. So I was like,
Oh, that weirded
huh.
you out a little bit. You're like, ooh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like really, consider your regions, consider your area, consider
Yeah.
um and
I
yeah.
tell people that all the time, especially with Native American culture. Um, we don't have all the answers to that at all, unless you were born into that.
And even
And most
then,
people,
people, a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of their cultures have been so whitewashed that they don't even, that a lot of them don't even know what has happened before either.
right,
So, like in my area, and I've mentioned this multiple times before. There's caves near us that have drawings that have been dated all the way back to over 6,000 years ago.
oh wow,
That doesn't tell you that like the civilization that was around here was around. Like, I don't know what's been buried. I don't know what's been destroyed. I don't know. Mm-mm. Just don't. And it's like I have to be very. I feel like we need to be smarter and more cautious in general. Like as a spiritual person, you're gonna deal with spiritual warfare. It's just
right,
the reality of it. And it doesn't matter what kind of spirituality you believe in. You're gonna deal with it. Does that make sense? Like
right,
you've already allowed yourself to be open to something higher than you. You're gonna deal with anything else that's in the realm, like in the realms outside of you.
right,
And um, that you just need to be more cautious. You need to like be aware of of the spiritual energies and the history that you're walking in that you have no clue about.
definitely.
So be careful when you go to that church.
Yeah, I'm very cautious tonight for sure, compared to normally what I am. So
Yeah, I just think it's in general that's just a strange space. It's like I guess it was just like a convention area or like a just an open space. So it's just
yeah,
so trippy. I
yeah,
wonder who owned it because clearly it was owned by somebody else and it was
yeah,
rented to these other
yeah.
groups.
So yeah,
So I wonder who owned it and who was like, "We're gonna do an experiment."
right.
And why they have a coffin in there? Like that's weird to me.
I don't know, but I'm pretty interested in that coffin. And there's a bell tower, which they said the clan used to hang out at the bell tower for some reason.
Oh,
So yeah,
be
so
careful with that.
yeah, that's the thing. Like another weird thing about the paranormal is a lot of haunted places. The clan was around that, and I could tell a story in the town that I grew
They
up in
probably still hang out there. Yeah, see, Rick just said.
um, that it was a Sunday night, and there's a graveyard attached to the church. They were having Sunday night church service, and the church service got over. And when they came out, the clan was out there at the graveyard
Oh my
trying to do a
gosh.
seance because they needed an answer to something from the previous leader dying. They needed to know something. So I'm guessing what happened was it would had to be like a full moon or a blood moon or
That's
something like,
uncomfortable. That's
yeah,
weird. I didn't know that the clan did like that. That's
yeah,
strange to me. And obviously, like, I mean, I knew it was like a secret society and stuff like that, like its own, like, right? But like, I didn't
yeah.
assume them
I
to
don't know
do
much
that
about them.
because of the
Yeah,
fact that they seem like they're Christian crusaders with the wrong mindset. But then I guess it kind of makes sense.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah,
So do as I say, not as I do, kind of a thing.
yeah, yeah. So,
Oh
and
wow.
that was probably back in the 50s or 60s. So,
Oh well, that we know
yeah,
of.
yeah. I mean,
That would be
so
so strange to deal with. I don't think I've ever come across a racist spirit. But I do know that that would be interesting because I could very much be like targeted by one.
yeah, so
Oh, I didn't
would
even
be
think about that.
interesting.
Like going into spaces, it just clicked. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Are you
So,
like you good in case you're gonna deal with one of them, or?
yeah. I mean, I think I'll be fine. Like I said, I'm with 3 women, so that's the questionable thing there. So, but
who I guess, yeah, you just have to be careful with them too,
yeah.
because you don't know like the area or like the true history of all the rituals that were actually done in the space.
Yeah, there's some history to the town that I'm not going to discuss. So,
Is it
yeah.
like?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So,
Well, technically you can. This is an educational show.
well, I guess per se some women have gone missing. Yeah.
Like in the
So,
actual like town, like
area.
as of recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
All
So,
right. So you're
that's
gonna make
it,
sure that
yeah.
you're ready for anything. Golly. So
Yeah.
this is more than just a spiritual investigation.
Unfortunately, yes.
This is gonna be a very. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I know out here, so in the area that I live in the '90s, in the early '90s,
Mhm.
um, maybe even to like mid '90s, there were a lot of women found here in the area that I live in.
Mm.
Like the area that I live in was just like recently like built up. It's like a newer developed area.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm not shocked that I
No.
experienced shit here because I'm like, this is the area where they used to find bodies.
Yeah.
Not just
Right.
women, men too, but a lot of
Yeah.
women. There was a lot of gang related and cartel related
Oh, okay.
violence out here, and a lot of women
Got ya.
from ages like 14 through like 30. I mean, like, I don't even know. I don't even know the number. Like,
Oh,
it
wow.
was like intense. Like, it was like, I remember like, it was almost in the news every day. A new body, a new body, a new body.
Right.
So, like, it was just really bad. Really bad.
Wow.
So that's why I said, like, I'm really not surprised. You gotta know
Right.
your area.
Right.
And I can't stand when people are like, well, it's a new place. I'm like, that has nothing to do with
No,
it.
I don't mean no. That's like New
Reminds me of like
Harmony.
poltergeist, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're on
Yeah.
something.
New Harmony built a new dollar store, brand new Dollar General. And I went there and someone wrote a book said that their dollar store was haunted. And I thought that was unique. And like, oh, a dollar store that's haunted. I've never been to a haunted dollar store. So I went there and they're like, yeah. And then I went to the library to get some history of the town and stuff. And they're like, how can our new store be haunted? It's brand new. And I was like,
Somebody's stupid.
well, it's not the store itself, it'd be the land itself.
The area that it's on, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they're like, oh,
Yeah, and a lot of people just don't want to admit to it. They're like, no, it doesn't make sense. It's
right.
okay. Like, you know, sometimes some of us are meant to be the educators to some people. But it's harder to try to explain something to somebody who, like I was saying earlier, who doesn't want to be educated, who doesn't want to
Right.
learn. Yeah, it's just a lot too. Sorry, I got snacky and I have a candy. um, but yeah, I think that's one of those harder things for us to do as investigators. Like, we can't just investigate the actual space itself because of the history that's been
No.
given to us. We
Yeah.
actually have to think about the other possibilities in the area.
Yeah. I tell people to go to your local library first
Mm-hmm.
and see if you can get any information just in general. Don't go to the library and be like, oh, the red house on Main Street's haunted. can you give me information? No. Try to do it this way. Try to learn the history of the town or
Mm-hmm.
the surrounding area, because usually it goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my best advice for anybody that's interested in this stuff is learn the history of the past, and then it usually goes hand in hand.
I think I need to do more of a deep dive of that area I was telling you about, like that area in my city that's all weird.
Yeah,
I
would
wonder.
be interesting.
There's always this speculation and this talk about it being on a native land, and that's like very like some of it was sacred land.
Right.
Um, Again, I wouldn't be surprised. With a lot of stuff that's happened there, I would not be surprised.
I'm never surprised anymore.
Mm-mm.
Never.
I feel like there's a lot of civilization out here prior to European settlement. We'll say it nicely. I think that there was just a lot that we're meant to believe wasn't here because they wanted so badly to make it seem like the indigenous were uncivilized.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of stuff was destroyed.
Yeah.
And we just don't know the truth of how much was actually cultivated. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, Christopher Columbus. You can know. I can't get mad at him. I think I'd be more mad at, what is it, Ponce de Leon? And then for me, it was Cortez. That's the founder of like this area.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're we're one of the oldest established European cities next to St. Augustine.
Okay.
Okay, so like St. Augustine and then us.
Okay.
So like, I tell people, I'm like,
Interesting.
we are over 500 years old, our area.
Hmm.
So like,
Wow.
hello, you know, like, and as far
Right.
as like European settler kind of thing, you know,
Right.
or over 400 years old. I'm sorry. We celebrated our 400th Thanksgiving, not like recently. So, not 200. That's 250 for America. We're more than that.
Right.
So, so I always think it's funny because I know a lot of people talk about how the New England area is the most haunted, like in the area, or like in the United States, because it's like the oldest. And I'm like, nope. Probably one of them, but nope.
Right.
Definitely not. I have so many people that live out in this area. And I've sent this a few times that in like my city itself, I would say about 80% of the people have experienced something. The other 20 know the other 80%. You know what I mean?
Right.
About 10% is skeptical. That
Right.
80% will divide in whether or not they believe everything is like schmeemans or also ghosts. Does that make sense? So there's
Right.
like that like that weird divide in that belief of what it is. But aside from that, they've all
I think
experienced something.
down where I live, there's like maybe 10% might be believers, and the rest aren't. So
Wow.
yeah, it's very not believers around here. Unless you lived in a house that was,
Mhm.
or worked at a nursing home that was, stuff like that.
Mhm.
We get more nursing home chatter than anything. So
That's interesting.
yeah. So
That's interesting. No, for here, again, it's just like the actual space, the actual place out here. We have missions out here that are Let me think. 300 years old. 300, 400, yeah. So yeah, we kind of deal with a lot out here.
Wow,
And
that's cool.
we had the old Fort Bliss. Um, well, we have Fort Bliss here, but then like the old Fort Bliss is in itself, like you can still hear like people testing artillery and stuff like that, and our odd places of town that used to be the old Fort
Yeah,
Bliss.
that's cool.
And then a little north of us is where there was still some Civil War activity that people don't realize was part of here too, because we
Yeah,
weren't
we got
as
some
far
Civil War
east.
places.
So you'll hear um, battle like
Yeah.
on like farmland and stuff like that. Every once in a while, you can hear like what sounds like guns going off, and nobody's around.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
It is cool, but it's like also like, what is where did how that happen?
Right.
And like, and I
Why is
really
there a
feel
musket going
like
off?
there's a lot of like residual energy because it was so intense, so it just kind of like repeats itself, which I feel is like interesting because it's almost like you're like stepping into it. It's almost like time travel, like you're stepping into
A time loop.
a time loop, yeah, more than it being a ghost that's stuck around. I just feel like you're just
Right.
like they're just in their own time.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
interesting.
I feel like there's enough mysteries out there that we're not gonna know them all. Not today.
No, no.
Well, I'm very curious about how your investigation goes tonight. Um, Stay safe. I know, like you said, there's a whole bunch of weird shit going on out in that area.
Right,
So I can't give you any advice. I'm very much a two-way person, so that's all I can tell you.
right.
Like that's the best way I could see you like taking care of y'all, or at least the ladies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, man, I don't know. And then you said that you're planning on hopefully writing a book.
One day I want to write a book. And that's the other reason why I go so many places is the paranormal sometimes gets a rep, or haunted locations get a rep of people trying to make money. So I've gone to several places, hundreds probably, where there's places I want to write about and places I don't want to write about. It's basically gonna be a book about my adventures to these places,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's really haunted or someone's trying to make money off of it.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I know there's been a few places where people have found that they've rigged certain things so that the lights flicker. Or they've rigged it so like
yeah,
certain. It sounds like somebody's like knocking. You got some homies over here on the internet praying for you. Oh, thanks. See, there you go.
there we
They're
go.
keeping
I do appreciate it.
they're all keeping y'all safe on your investigations there.
There you
But
go.
yeah, I know you've been unfortunately a lot of people try to dupe because they know that people are interested. Like in one of the places that me and my kids will go to out here, because you said like you kind of go places with your kids too. I'll take my kids to
If it's
one.
safe, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take them to one specific restaurant out here that used to be like a mansion of like one of the aristocratic families out here in New Mexico, and there was a murder that happened in this one particular room that is that you can rent to eat at. Like it's a restaurant, so you actually
Right.
can like it's its own like it's a circle table. They have the original chairs that used to be in the room in there.
Nice.
And me and my kids will rent out the room, and we'll set up our own little equipment, and we'll kind of have our own little chit chat while we're eating. And we've been doing it for like the last 4 years now. Um, but every time towards the end of the bill, or like there's always the light going on and off. And I
Right.
figured out like they rigged it so where they turned the light on and off So that
Oh,
gives you that experience of the haunted room, and I'm like, you don't need to do that. And I've even
right,
been like, you guys don't really need to do that, like, you
right,
know. And and like they have the camera on us, so it's not like they can't hear us and they can't figure out that we're there because of the like what we're there for. But
right.
it's just like, don't do that. Like, it's
Yeah,
disrespectful to what actually has happened there. There were two people that were murdered in this room. Like, don't play
yeah.
on that. Like, you
The
know,
the other factor is like that place is really run down, like to the point where it should just be demolished. And then people are like, "Oh, it's haunted," so they send all these people in because you at least
oh
get
yeah,
$20 a pop,
to
and
try
they're
to
like,
get some
"Oh,
people in there to like, yeah.
yeah." And that's what we deal with up here a lot, to be honest. Like I had one of the people that's going with me. They're like, "Do you feel like people just say stuff is haunted because they need money to renovate their place?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "One day I'm gonna write a book about it," and and they always look at me. They're like, "Oh." I was like, "It's not to be mean. It's just to be like,
Like, to be careful with what you're looking out for.
yeah,
And don't get me wrong, I do believe that a lot of places. I don't believe that any particular place needs to be haunted. I do believe every place can become haunted, or
right,
a lot of people are haunted,
right,
and people don't recognize that too. Or especially a lot of people who are like you and me, you have a specific gift, and you attract something more. So because
right,
you're more of the magnet because of your gift, they'll you'll experience more things. You can literally go anywhere and experience something.
right.
Like I know I can't. Like, I don't know. You can see that I'm talking about it, and my phone keep my you see my camera keeps trying to go in and out of focus. That's what I know.
Yeah.
I have a friend coming about. I have a lot of them. They come through here, and I let them know that, like, all right, if you're gonna come through, this is the only space you can be in. You gotta leave me alone. You gotta leave me alone the rest of the rest of my area, like my rest of my home. They can't leave this room.
So, what's your opinion on the term spooky season?
Oh,
Because it kind of gets on my nerves a little bit.
it gets on your
Because
nerves. I
yeah,
think it's spooky. I don't know. I'm just a spooky girl, so I'm just spooky all year round. So I don't know.
yeah, me
I do
too.
like spooky season. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the idea of spooky season, but I don't start it in October. I believe it
Right,
starts in August. Like like then again, like I said, it's like for me, spooky season is all
right,
year round for me. So
yeah.
I can't really. But I don't know. Like, what is your take on like the whole spooky season? Do you think it's, or is it more of like the commercialization of?
I feel like they're trying to commercialize it, just like Hallmark would do with anything. Of course, not like a bashing Hallmark. It's just how we grew up. Hallmark did this.
Right.
But spooky season could be all year long, just like hauntings or paranormal investigations can be during the day or during the night, any
Oh, I
day of the week.
know. I've said that too.
And
I'm all like, I understand why people do them at night, but the reality is
yeah,
that stuff it happens all the time. And there's no
right.
specific time of day. There's no such thing as time. I feel like that needs to be understood.
Yes.
Um, I can understand the darkness factor. The absence of light makes it easier for the veil, so to speak. I can understand that whole thing.
Right.
But again, it's not seen the same way. So what we
Right.
understand as darkness is not darkness to
Right.
to an entity that is no longer in our realm. They're like they're abouts, but they don't see the same things we see anymore. They
Right.
only see energy. So I think
So
that's interesting.
yeah. I don't know. It just started bothering me this year. Like I guess I've heard it a lot this year. Spooky season, you know, and it cracks me up. Like even like cable will do that. Like, oh, we gotta put out our new paranormal shows in October, and then like
Right.
nothing the rest of the year. So
Right. It's just like, yeah, or like, I mean, obviously they've been coming out on like Netflix and stuff like that, or like even like the show Wednesday, things like that. All of those, like the scarier shows only come out around October or leading up to
Right.
October, and that does get a little annoying because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's all the time. It's all,
Right.
just share this all the time. Why not? Why And I get it, because people are looking for more spooky things around the spooky time of year, or like what they believe is
Right.
the spooky time of year. But I don't know. I feel like spooky is all year. I feel like there's spookier in the winter. I
Yeah.
don't know. You tell me.
Definitely.
Like less sunlight, that's spookier to me.
Yeah. And
That's
they used to like I keep telling my mom this, like Christmas, they used to tell ghost stories.
what I was thinking. I was just thinking that right now. I was like, Christmas used to be a time of ghost stories too. It's even written in
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
That's why.
And
That's
like
why the Christmas Carol was such a big hit.
yeah, and like people just don't understand that. They're like, "Oh no, it's a family time, it's presents, nothing to do with ghosts." And then like no, they used to do it, like
Yeah, they're also absent-minded about the fact that Christmas isn't supposed to be Christmas.
right.
It's winter solstice, and we're just putting a Christian stamp on it.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I still celebrate because of like I'm still gonna enjoy like Christmas carols and things like that, but I'm not oblivious. I'm not The Scrooge is all about ghosts. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Christmas Carol is all about ghosts. You can't tell me you like a Christmas Carol and that you don't like ghost stories. But no, in the reality, yeah. I mean, I still celebrate. I still like. I'm part of like the Christmas choir for one of the big churches out here. They have a big Christmas performance every year, and we did it last year with me and my kids, and they wanted to do it again this year, so we're doing it again this year. But
Nice.
like, I I don't care for the commercialization of anything. Let's put
Right.
it that way. Like, I love Halloween. I don't like that they've been overpriced in candy now.
You're right.
I'm like, this is not like you're taking advantage of the tradition. Like, and I can't stand that.
You're
Like, if
right.
anything, bring the prices down because the purpose of the tradition.
I kind of wish we would do what like Romania does. They don't just pass out candies, but they make breads
Oh,
and
that's
like
good.
desserts and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
passes it out through the community as like trick or treating.
Right, and I was actually I knew about that too, but like in general, that's actually what it used to be too. But I think
Mhm.
they've scared so many people about a lot of that
Laser
recently
blades and
because
so
of
on.
putting stuff in things that are dangerous and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I can understand it, but like at the same time, it's like, ugh, but it's also kind of taken away some of the magic. I guess that's the way
Yeah.
of saying it. I'm just thinking anything, but that's for those people who like really don't know the actual background to the tradition or the reason for trick or treating,
Right.
which is that in itself is annoying because it's like really like you don't get it. It has nothing to do with trying to be scary, like, and it's so funny. Like again, it's like the speaking to people who are unaware of the tradition behind Halloween, which is not Halloween. Samhain is actually the name of it, right? The tradition behind it, and it's because of the thinning of the veil makes it easier for all spirits to be able to cross into our realm. In which case, it makes it dangerous for all of us, especially children who are more vulnerable. Which is why trick or treating is what they do. So they try to keep the children always moving so that nothing can get attached to them while the veil is thin, and they wear costumes looking like there's something else, like something evil, so that they can deceive those spirits so that they do not attach to them. That's the purpose of it. It's not saying that you want to be something ugly, it's so that you can deceive um, the evil, so that you can deceive the evil around you. And that's the reason why you also decorate your house that way and things like that. So they think, oh, we're already there.
Right.
There's already one of us there. We're fine. Like we got that one. kind of a thing. So I know people, and then people don't really understand the reason of that, behind it, right? And that the reason that
Right.
you're giving them food, that they're trick or treating, or that you're giving them food as they're going, is because they are traveling. They're meant to keep going for hours. So you're trying to replenish them to keep them moving,
Right.
so that everybody's like the children stay safe. That's the whole reason of it. And it's just so interesting how like it's like, it's evil, it's this, it's that. It's like, no, it's actually the opposite of. But
I
it's
remember
okay.
setting out a plate of food for the spirits one year, and my mom was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just setting out a plate of food for the spirits because that's what you're supposed to do." All the raccoons are going to eat it. Well, that could be a possibility, or a spirit could have came by and ate it too. And she's like, "No raccoon."
I've never heard of leaving anything for the spirits.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it. I mean, I know that that's something that they do for Dia de los Muertos, but I
yeah,
personally don't believe in doing that. I don't believe in like on like giving them anything, because it's like there's no reason to
yeah.
like honor them or offer to them. Like I don't, I think
Right,
that just brings around the stray cats too. Like in the spirits, the spirit world, like you're just bringing them around back. You know what I mean? They think they're gonna
uh,
come back to you again. Nah, that's good. Thanks. It's bad enough that people think you just put it out for Santa Claus. You're not putting anything
right.
out for Santa Claus. Be careful.
Uh,
Be careful what you allow in. I feel like a
yeah.
lot of people really don't understand like the what you're opening when you're like, even like the welcome
Very
mat,
true.
or like, you know what I mean, like that's why I kind of get annoyed with certain like Christian traditions, the Christian traditions, and they have no
Yeah.
clue what they're actually doing, and then they speak so badly about like pagan traditions, not realizing that that's exactly what they're doing.
Right.
And it's like you can't cherry pick the traditions that you like.
Right.
It's like that's very strange to me. At any rate, my goodness. Okay, so with that all being said, I know that you definitely need to get some rest before tonight, because I know you're gonna be busy with the ladies, and then the space that you all are growing into.
Yeah.
So like you're gonna be on high alert for different reasons. So I feel like you need rest. Um,
Right.
but yeah. So let us know. Keep us posted about that book when you start getting that going, and um, we're definitely interested to see your perspective on everything that you've already dealt with.
Right.
But yeah, it was great talking to you, Joseph. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful investigation. Stay safe. May God be with you on your journey, because I know it's that's a lot. That's gonna be a lot for you tonight. I can
Right.
already sense that. So yeah, and yeah, we'd look forward to the update on everything.
No problem. I do appreciate you having me on here. So
Yeah,
it's
thanks so
been
much. Thanks
been very
for thanks
blessed.
for making the time and everything. I appreciate that.
Oh, of course.
And you enjoy it on spooky season. I'm just kidding. No, you you enjoy your your evening and your investigation.
Will do.
Thank you so much. Bye, Joseph.
Like,
All right, my loves. Just wanted to say thank you for everybody who was hanging out with us today. I know that was a pretty interesting conversation. I don't. It's always cool to meet other people that are similar to me, um, with their upbringing, because it's. I know that it's hard for us to like. We get a lot of we don't really feel convicted, but we feel like a lot of our bias will like talk us out of what we are interested in, and it's like and it's hard for us to find other people that are similar to us. So it's really cool to find um, another investigator or somebody who's into the paranormal, who's also gifted, who recognizes that this is just something that is a part of his life, and it has nothing to do with like him trying to chase anything, as far as um, um, trying to summon anything. Like he's very much just a truth seeker, like I am. So With that all being said, I hope you all had a wonderful day. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will probably be on later tonight with some reacts since we wound up switching things around today due to the investigation, due to his investigation that he's coming up with. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. Again, I appreciate you all for being with us today. I'm gonna see if we should raid out to anybody on Twitch before I say a full goodbye. I don't know if anybody's on. Oh no, doesn't look like anybody. It doesn't look like anybody similar to me is on right now. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody in our similar category is on right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and leave it be. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Again, I might be on again later just for us to do some reacts. So yeah, I appreciate you all. Have a happy Tuesday. Bye.